Hello, you lovely lot. Welcome back here again to Philippine Life Through the Eyes of an Expat. And today's topic is going to be, could you live in the Philippines? It's probably been spoke about many times before, but I'm going to speak about it in a bit of a detailed way, my detailed way. Now, living in the Philippines is a big difference, okay? It is a big difference. And a big difference being culture, big difference in culture here, massive difference in culture. Financial capacity and what you need to live here. Again, that's a big difference as well. And this all depends on how you want to live now, okay? So me, I just live a very simplistic way of life. And the simplistic way of life means I'm not extravagant. I've never been extravagant. Even when I was in the UK, I've never been extravagant. Yes, I like to drive, or did like to drive nice cars and things like that. But since being here, I haven't really wanted to do that. But living here, and also the boredom. This is another thing I would like to talk about, is the boredom. Because let's just say you come here full of excitement, and we do. We go to these countries with a big excitement and maybe a lot of expectations. Now, if you are the sort of person who wants to be doing this and wants to be doing that and going here and going there, well, that's going to be a novelty, I think, which will wear off. That's going to wear off at some point. Either you're going to tire yourself out by doing too many things, because coming here to live and coming here for a holiday is two different things. Coming for a holiday, yes, you're going to be doing all of these excursions, you're going to be island hopping on a regular basis. But living here is different. You get yourself into like a routine, I suppose. And my routine, I'll tell you my routine first, and then then we'll talk about different routines that many people would probably be more into than mine. So my routine is, the weekends we always do something. Whether it be doing something where we just go into the city, or we go and see my wife's family, or we might go to a little island like Aliguay, which is close to us. The other big island, it's not big, it's bigger than Aliguay, is Silinog, which is a lovely island as well. But I prefer Aliguay. It's smaller and it's not far to go. It doesn't take long to get there on a little banker boat, maybe 1 hour and 15 minutes. Just chug. So that's what I like to do. Like I said, is do things that sort of interest me. And it's the same as if you used to come here. You do things that would interest you. Now, the Philippines is no different from any other tropical country. And I'm talking like Greece or somewhere like that, where you're on the Mediterranean. It's all exciting. But living here is a totally different ballgame, guys. It really is. When I first came here, the first 6 months was absolutely fantastic. And then I started to think, well, hold on, I'm doing the same things now. And it took me a little while to actually adjust. And I think I said in previous videos that I almost gave up. I almost thought, well, I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to be able to settle here. And another thing is the heat and the humidity, which does get to me. And I'm like a thin guy. So if you're a little bit on the larger side, you might be a little bit even more uncomfortable. I don't know. But I love it here. And could you live in the Philippines? Well, that depends on you, really. It depends on you. Many, vloggers will say, it's this, it's that. Until you come here and try it yourself, you aren't going to know. But my little routine is at the weekends, I will go and do something with me and my family. We might, even something silly like going to a market. Because here, the markets are not like they are back home. The markets here are brash, and I like them. And they all kind of the same price in these markets. I've noticed that, the meat will be the same price on that stall as it is on that stall. So I think they must have some kind of arrangement that they have with each other, where they're not undercutting each other and things like that. And you can get all of the things that you probably can in the UK, more or less, or in your own country, more or less. Maybe not all. And so my routine is that, really. During the week is pretty normal. But I have more time with my family because I don't do as much work as what I used to. So I spend a lot more time with my family, and I'm in these surroundings all the time, which I totally, totally adore. Neighbours are very friendly here where I am as well. Very, very friendly. And they don't really interfere with us, Yes, there is a lot of noisy parkers in the Philippines, but casting my mind back to when I was back home where I lived, my neighbours there, either side of me, was noisy parkers. They knew exactly what was coming into my house and who come into my house and who didn't. So that's no different, really. The cost of living. Right, for me and my wife and my son, this is not a detailed cost of living. This is an approximate, give or take a couple of thousand pesos, that is. Now, food. My wife doesn't really like to eat the Western food that I eat. She's more into the Filipino food, like bulad, and she likes the vegetables here that are locally grown, and she just cooks something up with adobo style or soy sauce, vinegar, like for the dip. So my wife doesn't really cost a lot. Me, I'm a little bit more kind of expensive because I like the potatoes, the carrots, and things like this. But let's just say we spend, and this is not an exaggeration, guys, okay? We only spend about 7,000, 6,000 a week on groceries, and that's with pork and chicken. My wife doesn't really eat a lot of pork or chicken, really, but she eats a lot of fish. So the fish vendor comes round on a daily basis, and she'll buy fish twice a week. So she probably spends around 300 pesos, 400 pesos a week on her fish. So you got that. So 6 or 7,000 pesos a week on food. Okay, that's all inclusive. Now, because we've got a son, and now he's kind of getting off of the formula milk. Now he's kind of on Bear Brand, and I think he's on Alaska, I think. So that doesn't cost a lot of money. So let's just say my little boy with nappies and everything like that costs, let's just say, 1,000 a week. So let's just say that 6,000 has then gone into 7,000. Let's be on the safe side and say 7,500. Electric. Now, our electric is no more than 1,400 pesos a month because we haven't got aircon. We don't need it because we've got high roof and high ceilings. It doesn't get really hot in our place, and we don't live in the city, so it doesn't really get that hot here. So that there. So you got 7, 14, 21, 28,000, 29. So let's just say 30,000. That's what we probably spend. Now, yes, sometimes we go up. A gasoline for the bike. Well, what do we spend on that? 3, 6, 9, 12. Maybe 300 pesos a month, a week. So what's that? 1,200 pesos. So let's just say all in, even with our excursions when we go to the cities and things like that, or even when we go to the island, we don't really spend a lot on the island because I know many people who live on the island, and the fish is it's next to free. We stay there the night normally, and we have a barbecue on the beach and things like this. So let's just say all in, and this is over the top. Let's just say we spend 40,000 a month. 40,000 a month. Now, you might be thinking cheapskates, cheapskates, but that's just the way we live in. That's just the way that we live, and that's, we don't watch things, we don't think, oh, we can't get that this week, or we can't buy that, we haven't got no money. We don't really live like that as such. And this phone, I don't know what's wrong with the exposure. I don't know what's wrong. So let's just say that. So then, what's that? That's less than $800 a month. That's less than $800 a month. That's only us, guys, okay? Don't forget, we haven't got no rent to pay because we've got our own house. So if you had rent to pay, perhaps you'd be paying, depending on the size of the place that you wanted, but maybe you would be paying 5,000 a month. Where we are, it depends where you are as well, what part of the Philippines that you're in. But here you can get a lovely apartment for 5,000 a month, and that's a 2-bedroom apartment. I don't know what's wrong with the exposure on this phone, guys. I really don't know. So yeah, so let's just say all in, even if you are renting a place. And this is for a family. I'm talking about me, my wife and my son. So this is family expenses. This is not just for me. I think if I was on my own, I'd probably spend more because I'd probably go out drinking more, you know. So I'd probably spend a little bit more, to be honest. No, I wouldn't actually. I've never been a big drinker. So let's just say $800 a month. $800 a month. My goodness. Now I see lots of vlogs on here where they say you need at least 2,000, 2,500. Perhaps they do. I'm not saying you don't need that. Perhaps they do because that might be their lifestyle that they live. But for our lifestyle where we are, and we live a nice lifestyle, I think. You know, my wife is very contented. I'm contented. And my son, he gets what he wants, basically. You know, we don't try and spoil him, but he gets enough. You know, we don't scrimp and scrape on his gifts and things. So yes, for less than $1,000 a month. And even if you were spending $1,000 a month, God, you might, for a good time, for a good life, you know. And there's something wrong with the exposure of this phone. I don't know what it is. I don't know the settings or anything like that. But yeah, $800 a month for us, guys. And could you stay in the Philippines? I can't answer that. I don't think anyone can answer that. You know, I think only you can answer that. You know, no vlogger can give you what he would think for himself and pass it on to you. We've all got different requirements. We've all got different standards. So I think I can't give any detail on that. Well, put it this way, I'm a simplistic guy. You know, when I was back in England, I wasn't a lavish guy anyway. I mean, I had a BMW. I've had an Audi. You know, I used to have a really good bike, a motorcycle. That was the most things that I spent out, or you know, plus the house I had. But I think, guys, come out and see for yourself. And the guys that are already here, some guys will probably be living on what I'm living on. Some people will be living on a lot more than what I'm living on. So again, that's just what or what we spend every month. Everyone's different. But you don't need that much, guys. Really, you don't. You don't. I think when you're mixing with foreigners, that's when you're going to need more money, because these foreigners might want to be going here and going there, and of course eating in fancy restaurants, it's very expensive. So again, it depends on what you want to do and who you want to be staying with. If you want a Filipino life where you're doing more with the Filipinos, or you want more of the Western style in the East, it all depends. But for me and my wife and my son, that's what we spend. So $800 a month, and I've just stepped in a load of mud. It's all over my feet. It's okay, I'll go back and wash my feet. So yes, guys, that's it really. Like I said, no one can give you the advice. You can only do it yourselves. You can only come and test the water. Put your boots on the ground for a while. And incidentally, I've been here for almost 7 years, so I think I can give a little bit of hello you, what are you doing? I think I can give, you know, like an honest opinion. I haven't been here for 6 months. I've been here for almost 7 years. But yeah, guys, that's it. So quick video. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to hit the notification and share the video if you will. Thank you very much, guys. God bless. Take care wherever you are.